Hello, my friend. Welcome to She Sells Radio. I'm thinking we may call these shorter form solo episodes something like She Sells Unscripted because I'm kind of just riffing here. And literally today, there is a quote in front of me that I heard recently that spoke to me in such a powerful way. And I just want to take a moment and share from the heart. And I don't think it's going to be a long episode, but I don't think it needs to be because I think the message is so powerful. And so I heard this beautiful quote recently, and it may have been a Bob Proctor original. I don't know. It's who I heard it through originally, but it says, "Don't cry over anything that won't cry over you. Don't cry over anything that won't cry over you." And I heard this at a season when I was holding on to some things, wishing things were different, trying to almost like push and force circumstances to be different than they were. And it felt like both of these things had to do with relationships with other people. At least how it was feeling to me was that I was trying to I was more invested in getting things shifted for these other people than they were for themselves. And I noticed how much it was draining my energy and how much it was depleting my energy and how much my creative energy to go out and focus on new and expansive and next level creations in my life it wasn't there because frankly so much of my energy was tied up in resisting those circumstances that were. And so when I heard this, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally figuratively, but still energetically crying over these things that I don't think they're as bothered by it as I am. Like, I don't think these people are as bothered by the circumstances I am. And it's their circumstance. I'm sitting trying to shift it. And I'm like fueling all this energy into it. And it was like, oh my gosh, it's time to drop it. Like, it is time to stop trying to push the boulder up the hill and release that energetic attachment to things needing to be a certain way. And instead, shift all of that energy and focus into what lights me up right now and what would feel good and what's worthy of my time. And that's a beautiful qualifying question that you can ask in your life is, what is worthy of me? Because anything that you do, whether it's a goal that you set, whether it's a company you build, whether it's a program you launch, a podcast you launch, you're trading your life for it. So is it worthy of you? Is it worthy of your life? And is this thing that you're crying over, whether figuratively or literally, is that worthy of you trading your life for it? And usually it isn't, right? I mean, there are obviously some things where it's like there needs to be an emotional cleansing. There is absolutely those things in our life. But oftentimes we find that we're crying over something that's not really crying over us. And it was this moment, I'm the only one hurting myself. Like, I am continuing to put myself in a negative vibration, in a negative space, because I'm so attached to this outcome needing to work out a certain way that just isn't. But I think I'm the only one who's crying over it. So interesting. So when I decided to release that, and decided to start pumping that energy and fueling that energy into what was next and what felt expansive and into um, people and opportunities that felt energizing and felt like they valued and respected my time at the level that I require at this point in my life. It was like, yes, yes, yes. Like this, everything shifted. And it takes a level of surrender. It takes a level of non-attachment, which I think, at least for me, I get to learn that lesson multiple times in my life. I think we all do, right? We get to learn to not be attached to things needing to be a certain way or working out another way. And to me, it's really about finding security within yourself and within whatever your spiritual connection is, whatever your higher power is, finding your security there rather than in outside results. But when we do that, and when we can kind of just do a gut check and realize, like, oh my gosh, I've been so attached to this thing needing to be a certain way, and look at how it's depleted and like pulled my energy from all these other places I could be focusing, and you just decide to let it go. It's incredible how liberating it is. And it's incredible what it creates space for, because when we have to remember the vacuum law of prosperity, right? That when we're holding on to something that's no longer a match for us, that's no longer a vibrational match, it literally blocks the space for that new thing to come in that would light you up. And this can be whether it's a client relationship you're holding on to where they're not really treating you right or respectfully or valuing you or your time. It can be personal relationships. It can be any of it. But when we hold on to the old out of fear of, well, what if I let go? And then for me, I noticed a story coming up of I'll be alone. And I had to get face to face with that fear of loneliness and be like, well, what if I was for a bit? And I know it won't be a long time, but what if I was? And it helped me uncover a deeper seated fear that I had within myself of being alone. So I got to work through that. I'm being very intentional with my language. It wasn't the most fun thing to work through. But I did, but I got to really be at peace with, well, it's better to be alone than be surrounded by people who don't respect you, right? It's better to be alone than be putting yourself in a circumstance that lowers your energy and lowers your self-image and your self-respect. And so in that moment, making the choice to release some things and to stop crying over things that just weren't crying back over me, it was like such a release. And literally, I talked about this in another episode recently. Incredible next level, like things I didn't think were going to happen so fast started flowing in as soon as I did. And so I just wanted to share that with you today because I think I want to get that quote tattooed on my body somewhere. Maybe you'll join me in doing it. It's a powerful reminder. It's such a powerful reminder and life lesson. Don't cry over anything that won't cry over you. So I hope that serves you. I hope that helps you. As always, connect with me on social. I'm at Elise Archer on all platforms. I'd love to hear what spoke to you most from this episode. And I'm just so grateful to be connected with you. And I will see you very soon on our next episode of She Sells Radio. Bye for now.